You don't stand for anything. That ring on your finger is not. You wear that as validation. You're not even married to a woman.
Oh, you're
not even in a relationship. You're probably single, bro. You wear that ring on your finger just for woman
What's going
attention.
on with you? Hey, man,
Dude,
what's going on with you at home?
I'll kick your ass.
You having a tough? No, you couldn't kick a fucking rock, man.
I'd kick your ass.
I'll fucking fold your clothes with you inside them.
That's hilarious. You're a little guy. How tall are you? Below 6 foot, that's for sure. I benched 315 for reps. For reps.
We've talked before. We've talked before.
6 foot on the dot.
Oh, this poor guy.
You're a chump.
What happened to your other account?
I just make multiple of them.
Multiple of them? Why don't you take those dicks out of your mouth so you can speak clearer? I don't understand what it is about the misunderstanding of patriotism and blind loyalty to a leader, and then not understanding that that's dictatorship, and then also like multiple.
No, why don't you?
Hey, wait. Hey, how about we do this? Why don't you drop the fucking bullshit? Let's see if you know anything. How do you feel about that?
But we can do that. But before we do that, how about you stand up straight when you're talking to me?
I'm just gonna ask you questions, and then we'll see if you kind of like.
Then I'll ask you questions. I'll see if you know anything.
Does that sound okay? Great.
What do you think about Artemis 2? You think that was real?
Yeah, man. Okay. You don't think it was real?
How come that AI video of them taking the pictures of the astronauts aren't even on their camera in the video? They're showing you fake AI videos. For what reason? It's obviously the AI. Even if it was real or not, why would they be pumping out AI videos?
Focus. Let's think about this.
Have you ever heard of the firmament?
Shh. What? Who's faking it?
The global elites.
The global elites? What I say about those? What I say about those dicks? What's purpose? What would be the purpose for the global elites
to control the mind of the population and make them believe a false narrative?
How does the rocket ship going into space achieve that goal?
Because they think humans are accomplishing something when in reality we don't even know what's going on. And last time we sent someone up there, they just got trapped in water and they got left up there.
That's just nonsense. How does the thing that you're saying accomplish the goal that you're alleging?
Because when you keep the civilization believing a certain narrative, they don't know what's real and what's fake. So you can pull strings left and right, and they don't even know what's happening. They think reality is real when in reality is fiction.
Oh, man. How big was that frying pan that hit you in the head?
You can't even comprehend what that is. You can't even comprehend.
I don't have that level of psychosis. That's true.
Because you can't comprehend. There's been a globalist elites. Have you ever heard of, what's it called again? It's, the groups of people who George Washington was one of them.
Let me ask you a question.
Freemasons.
What do you think?
They're Freemasons, globalist elites who run the country.
Give me a thing that you think is true. 100%. You know for sure is true.
You and I having a conversation or no? That's true.
That's not true. Hey, wait. Do you know who, if I said the name Descartes to you, do you know who that is?
No.
Descartes?
No, I don't know.
Descartes. Have you ever heard the phrase, I think, therefore I am?
I have actually, yeah. I think therefore
That's who said that. That's who said that. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I'll pick your brain.
How are you sure that you are having this conversation with me?
Well, I don't know. I think that you are looking at.
You don't know? I asked you a thing that is true, and you said this, and I said, "How do you know?" And you're like, "I don't know."
You can't really prove anything because everything is kind of subjective to the human.
Oh no! Right? Wait, hang on. What does that mean? So nothing's real?
Depends on how you perceive it.
Live visibility restricted for 10 minutes. Damn, dude. Solipsism is tough. We didn't even get to the fucking punchline, Brenna. We couldn't even get through Descartes. Damn. That's the best we got. You put the carts before the horse. Thanks, Matt. Thank you. I bench 315. Brother, you wouldn't know how to write out 315. You can't count that high. How many plates?
I mean, you're scared of me. That's
How
why
many?
you have to kick me. You're
How
scared.
many? How many plates is 315?
6 plates.
Oh, nice.
Because I bench it for reps. You've never even stacked 6 plates onto a bar before. You can't even squat that. You little
I can
chump.
squat 315 for sure. I can squat more than you for sure.
You can squat
100%.
You can squat 315 for 2 reps, and you herniate your disc on the second one.
I have 3 herniated discs, and I still out squat you.
That's
It's not even close, actually.
How much do you weigh?
175 pounds.
That's cute.
Yeah, and I out squat you. What's crazy is I out squat you. That's nuts.
Yeah, what's
Are you
your max
peeing right now?
squat? No, I'm filling up my water bottle.
All right, I don't want to listen to it. Anyway, I remember my first time in the gym. You squat 315. Anyway, this sucks, dude. These people are the worst. We're just circling the fucking drain. You in the job, bro, with that stash? You in the job, bro? You in the job, bro, with that stash? What does that mean? Did you see A-Rod at our gym the other day? I did see A-Rod at the gym. You know what's crazy? So A-Rod was at our gym. First of all, A-Rod is fucking enormous. A-Rod is an enormous human being. He's like 6'5", 300 pounds. He's fucking huge. He's on the sauce. His pee is white hot. But the point is, he's retired. Who cares? Fucking huge. I was going to ask him where I could get some Tren, but I decided. Anyway, A-Rod's fucking huge, but that's not the point. A-Rod's working out at our gym. And the guy next to me is like, do you know baseball? And I'm like, no. He goes, do you know who A-Rod is? And I was like, yeah. He's like, that's A-Rod. And I looked over and I was like, he looks like A-Rod. And then he turned around. I was like, that's fucking A-Rod. Anyway, what's crazy is, as I'm watching A-Rod work out in our gym, I'm watching people like sneak photos and like peer around like corners to and talk about it, including myself. And what's crazy is like I had the same thought about like taking pictures and sending it to my little brother and be like, A-Rod's here. And then somebody else that day, and this is not the first time this has happened to me at all. That day, I turned around. I was like, oh, I forgot something. Turned around, and somebody was taking a picture of me in the gym. And they were like, oh, yeah, sorry. I didn't know if it was you. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And in that moment, I was like, wait a second, hang on. Not that I'm A-Rod, not that I'm making that comparison, but like, I was like, oh, this is interesting. This is a fucking interesting moment that's happening. Anyway. I was at the gym at a different time, and I think I've told you guys, like, I've never, you know how sometimes when you go to the gym, you see the same people because they work out at the same time necessarily because of their job. And if you go at a different time, it's just a whole different group of people. And so I was at the gym early on a Saturday morning, and it was just like a completely different group of people. And so like 5 or 6 times, people were like, "Oh my God, when did you start working out here? Oh my God, good trouble." I shouldn't be making fun of you, nice human beings who come and say hello to me, but that it happened a lot that day. But also, A-Rod was there. It was very fucking weird. Anyway, yeah, fucking weird, dude. It's a weird lot in life.
Hello? Oh my gosh, hi.
Hit me, Sarah.
I know that I've called in before and I've been kind of zany. The last time I called in, you canceled it because I brought up a puppet on the screen. And I wasn't even
Zany is a
planning on
great
that.
way. Zany is a great way to describe that.
Manic.
Well, no, I would say zany. I think
Unhinged.
Zany's more. Go on. What did you want to talk about?
A nice way to put it.
Oh, I didn't hear. We didn't hear. All I heard was a nice way to put it.
Oh, just that might be a nice way to put it. But I did want to try and have like an actual, like me not being, I do wonder how effective this type of content is for changing the minds of people that I don't want to say are on the fence, because I think that's a really disingenuous thing that people, quote unquote, in the middle say. I think they're already conservative. But I do wonder this type of like live stream debate call-in show, I wonder how effective it can be in actually changing people's minds, or is that not the goal and it really is just to kind of have fun? And
I don't know, Sarah. First of all, I don't know that that's this show anymore.
yeah, that's fair.
I also think that I don't know that this is. I feel like maybe this is just me being oversensitive, but I feel like I've had this conversation sort of justifying my existence on the internet a lot of times. And
Okay.
But again, it could be just me being hyper defensive, and I think it's a worthwhile conversation. But I also think that like it is tough. It's not that it's not in the zeitgeist. It's not that this conversation doesn't have to happen. I just don't know that I have the bandwidth in this moment.
Well, because part of me feels like what you do is like genuinely really, really valuable, because you are like the type of person, alpha male is like a ridiculous whatever, but I think that you're like just a masculine guy. And so I think that if you can get through to like any of the MAGA guys, who I think a lot of them are just doing it kind of for the bit, kind of as a troll. Like when I was voting for the presidential election, I was at the polling booth and there were these two like guys in their 20s next to me, and literally they were right next to each other. And one of the guys goes to his friend and is like, "Who are you voting for?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, voting for Trump, vote for Trump, whatever." But like, it seemed like they genuinely didn't care, and he didn't even think about it until he was in the moment. And I think that like if somebody like me tried to do what you're doing, I think it could do more harm than good, because they would just see me as like a caricature. And you really do remind me of like one of my friends that I grew up with when I was a kid, who's like now in the Marines. He's like very macho. And I think it's actually very, to some of them, they don't see a lot of guys like you call them out on their bullshit in a way that someone like people like you don't normally do that. They agree with them. So I think there's a lot of really good value in that. But then I think you'd probably agree, I'm also torn, because the guy who just called in, I honestly don't even think he talks like that really. I think he's just bored.
Sure.
And
I agree.
Wants to get like more people to his page,
I think he's just.
So maybe it's just don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, but
So I hesitate to call her a contemporary of mine because I think she's
Kamala Harris.
smarter. No. Her name escapes me because I'm historically very bad at names, but she was just on with that other guy whose name also escapes me. The guy who couldn't open a pickle jar, Andrew Wilson.
Yes, the worst.
But the woman that most recently excoriated him, her name is, hold on. If the audience gets there before me, let me know. But followers. That's so erudite. That's so erudite. I don't even need to like bring her up necessarily, but like she just reiterated. I just want to show you guys who I'm talking about. This woman.
Story, and you tell other people that has to be their story. What do you guys think is the one regret of men who are dying in hospice?
She's doing like the rounds. I saw her talking about this, and it's a thought that I've said a bunch of times, which is like the point isn't like the concept is not to change the mind of this slack-jawed dummy drooling idiot in here. My job is not to fucking change that guy's mind. My job is to put the ideas that are going to make that guy's ideas look bad in front of people who could have their minds changed. That is the utility in doing this. And I tend to agree with her. So, I tend to agree with her. That's been my position for a long time. Please respond to the Blair Wilson stitch. She was misleading people about you.
Today is my birthday, and the president gave me a present by shitting his pants.
What a great photo. Blair Wilson. Who's Blair Wilson? I don't mean that as a slight.
Don't read. This entire conversation
That's Hawkeye Whack-A-Mole. Oh, she blocked me?
I finally
Yeah, she blocked me. I don't know who that is. Bummer. Did she say something about me? Go my burner. They're usually smart enough to burn, to do that. Is it bad? I don't care. At this point, what are we fucking doing?
how you live.
Oh yeah, great.
I need you to know that if your knee-jerk reaction is to get stuck into the semantics of whether or not this many men visit a website like this, as opposed to being sort of deeply hurt that a website like this can drive that sort of traffic a month to these specific topics, I need you to know that if you were to make that argument within my earshot or wingspan, I would hit you in the fucking neck.
And who does that apply to? Specifically, the very end. You're gonna punch me in the neck because a bunch of paid...
No. No, not you. I think pretty obviously not you. No one was assuming that I was talking about women correcting misinformation. I'm talking about the men who were like, well, actually, no, that's not worth a fucking, that's not worth the response. Sorry, she blocked me too. I don't know why. I don't know why these people block me. You need to update your video and give context. I don't have to do that. No. Look, Mig Wiggles, let me say this. Let me just look. Okay, so here's the deal.
Involuntary.
This is a little inside baseball. Okay. She's 13,000 followers. This video has 8,000 views. It has 174 likes. It has 39. It has 39 comments. That's not worth it. Sorry. You know what I meant. It's not even bait. It's not even bait. It's not. She misunderstood. It's a video on the internet. It's literally, it could not, there is zero to be gained by fleshing out this position. She misunderstood it. It's not important. I'll just say that. And that's not like, I'm not trying to big dog her. I'm just saying that, like, I also, in my old age, as my teeth become longer, I try to be more intentional with this sort of like reach that this has. And okay, so the whole point of that video is being pulled away from the point of that article, which is so, this is like a breeding ground for like horrific imagery and content that is being driven by the desire for this imagery and content. The conversation is being led away from that. What does me responding to her do? Further lead the conversation away. It would be doing exactly the thing that I am lambasting. Does that make sense? I hope so. That's not the conversation I want to have. I'm just saying, if you, a man, say, well, actually, it's not that many. It's actually only a couple of thousand men drugging and assaulting their wives. If you said that to me at Pizza Hut, I would turn around and assault you. Probably. At least verbally. At the very least, a verbal assault to the neck. To my FBI agents and the TikTok algorithm. I am joking. These are jokes. So, in that moment, I'm just expressing my sort of the rage. I recorded that video a bunch of different times, just talking about like the I don't know if this is true for any of you guys, and this is becoming an increasing problem for me. And I am like a pretty nonviolent person. You guys, the cartoonish push-up contest I challenge people is a sort of tongue-in-cheek like stab at traditional masculinity, like when your words fail, you fight, right? The rage and violence that I feel bubbling up inside me when I read articles like this and like hear things like this, that rage clouds my brain. I feel it. I feel physically. I feel the rage cloud my brain, and my ability to be creative with my words shrinks. And so I go to record a video, and I'm like, all I want to do is fucking punch you in the mouth, dude. And it's all that comes out. I can't be like, oh, you potato. I'm just like, I'm gonna murder. and that, it's not great content. We're all mad. So, I don't know, inside the mind of the TikTok creator. Internet tough guy. Let me just say this, Cass, to you, somebody who I've invited to come up to talk to me almost every night, who is too weak and scared to come talk to me. Calling somebody else a tough guy, an internet tough guy, is very funny to me. I think that you are a scared little baby back bitch. Anyway, I'm going to Washington, D.C. tomorrow. Late tomorrow. I'm participating in some events. Will one of you guys come talk to me? Jolly guy. Is that an Alfred? Oh, proud to be an American. Proud to be American. Don't tread. Oh, please. Yes, dude. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Oprah's guy. Thank you, Oprah Winfrey. Oh, it's this fucking guy again. This the 315 guy?
You keep shooting.
I got so excited, man. All right.
You're a pussy. You're a pussy.
Your mom's pussy?
You're a pussy.
Oh, okay.
I'll kick the little shit out you, bucko.
You couldn't kick a fucking soccer ball, dude.
You keep kicking me because you're scared to have me up here.
Turn
You're
your camera
scared
on.
to talk about. You're
Turn your
scared to
camera
talk about.
Turn your camera on. Do you notice how every time we ask them to turn their camera on, they just shrivel? The blood flow becomes a problem and they are just no longer able to perform.
I'm going to join back on the account.
Do you understand? Anyway, who cares? Why don't you go on opposing content creators? I do. I moonlight. I try anyway. It's fun. What was I saying? We're going to Washington, D.C. There's like a conference, couple of conferences, a couple of speakers, a couple of activities, a couple of happy hours, and I am speaking on a panel on Thursday morning. I'm speaking on a panel on Thursday morning about being a middleman between community organizers and the community, and like, you know, initially I think I was like approached because of Minnesota and what we were able to do, but it was basically, I'm also on a panel of like, it's just imposter syndrome central, just a bunch of like grassroots organizers and content creators, and then also me. And I think that like, I think that that's my point. That's the reason I'm there, is to illustrate that it doesn't have to, you don't have to be an established grassroots organizer to get off the couch and do some good, and talk about what that looks like. And you know, Benji and Minnesota is obviously not the first time that we've done this. Happily, this little community's raised into the hundreds of thousands of dollars now, which is pretty insane to say. And we've done it for many or different like little causes. I say little, but you know, earth-shaking causes. So yeah, not new. Every time I get asked to be on these panels, though, I'm like, me? You've seen my content, right? You've seen my content, right? No? Okay. You want me on this panel? All right. What's up?
How you doing?
Great. You?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Great.
So, I should preface this by saying I'm a longtime supporter of your content. Very longtime supporter.
No need.
I've been around since COVID.
Damn.
Love what you do.
Appreciate it.
I also definitely agree with your rage. Like, I don't fault you for having that rage at all, because 100% warranted. All I was trying to say, the psychology behind it, is just letting women know that, listen, it's not 62 million men out there doing that to people, because that number is scary. Like, there's 300 million people in America. The thought of going outside for a woman thinking that 62 million men are out there doing it is
buddy.
scary. Yeah.
Here's some. This is gonna be tough.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
That number is low. Understand that number, 62 million men. Let's say in America, sure. Let's say 62 million men who would want to, or who would use the opportunity should one arise to assault a woman is very low.
Yes, we can agree on that for sure.
So this number is not new to women. This number is not going to create new fear for women walking down the street. That fear exists.
It's always there.
That's
There.
right. So the conversation surrounding the bear is like, because the reality for women is different than men. I understand what you're saying, but like, in the sense that like this piece of information is like fear mongering, I don't agree with that at all. I don't think that
people are doing it to fear monger at all.
Okay.
That's not.
I don't think
people
that's
are
what
doing.
you're saying either. But I like the way that I'm interpreting what you're saying is like, it's a scary number, but like the number, it could be.
It could be way worse.
It is.
And you're right. So the reason why, and I was playing devil's advocate with it, is because like Muhammad Ali was a huge factor growing up for me. And I always remember an interview he did when he was talking about if there was 10,000 snakes coming towards a room and only 1,000 of those snakes didn't want to cause him harm, would he close the door to all 10,000 or trust the 1,000 to stop the other snakes from harming him? And his analogy for that was having that mistrust with white people in America, thinking that if only a small number of people aren't racist against black people, are they going to defend me against the ones that are? Do you get what I'm saying? It's a slippery slope thought-wise for the people that are making content, not your content, about this subject to scare people on purpose and create an even bigger divide. Because there's plenty of men out there who are vehemently against what that article was referencing and sharing with everyone. Mm-hmm. And there's plenty of men that will defend women to the death whenever it comes to these topics. Mm-hmm. But it's just going to make women hate all men always and just create bridging more divisiveness and more hate in that gender discussion.
Nope.
Okay.
Not even, I'm confident in saying that is it's a bad read.
Okay.
And I think that like, if the idea that like an article like this is the reason that this idea of all men is being fomented in the minds of women, respectfully, I don't think that you're listening to women enough to understand the reasoning why they say all men.
No, I've raised in a family of women. I have women all around me. I understand very strongly. Even in my own personal life, it has affected me. Mm-hmm. I understand firsthand why women feel how they do. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't change that we still need to be able, and I'm only talking about this article, nothing else. Just the conversations around this article. You read the article, which is why I'm glad to have a conversation with you about it. There's so many people that haven't even read the article that are just spewing things online about it.
Have you read the article?
Yes, read it today, and it was horrific.
I'm just gonna. I think.
Thanks. Hi.
Hi, Brenna.
Hey, so I just wanted to address like your point about like the snakes comment, right? Because I thought that was a great example, personally. Where you said that like you were thinking about that quote about 10,000 snakes, and if only 1,000 of them are going to be poisonous, how does a person know like which snakes to trust or that they're safe around, right? And applying that to white people, and then in this case, men. And you are saying, well, the article, it's a slippery slope because there are good men out there that would protect women. And this article suggests, I mean, you didn't really say suggest otherwise, but to me, it sounded like you think that this article is the equivalent of telling someone that there are 1,000 snakes that are poisonous among the 10,000. Is that what you were trying to say?
The opposite, that there's 10,000, like out of the 1,000, only 1,000 of them are good and the rest are bad.
Okay, but you understand the point of, so the point that was being made with that analogy is even if it's just 1,000 snakes among the 10,000, a person doesn't know which of the 10,000 to trust, right?
Yes, agreed.
So, and it doesn't matter. So if you're looking at 10,000 snakes and 10,000 are poisonous, they're all dangerous, right? If you're looking at 10,000 snakes and 5,000 are poisonous, you're going to look at them like they're all dangerous, right?
Yes.
If you look at 10,000 snakes and you know 1,000 are poisonous, you're going to see you have to treat the 10,000 as all dangerous. Yes? We agree? So this article doesn't change how you treat the 10,000 snakes. Because you're saying, well, this article was basically saying that it's 9,000 of the snakes that are poisonous. And you're saying that's bad because now everyone's going to be afraid of the 10,000 snakes. Brother, everyone is already afraid of the 10,000 snakes.
They're already snakes.
And I agree with that. I understand that.
Okay, so this article didn't change anything.
And 100%. What I'm saying is, I'm not disagreeing with his rage or what he said in his specific video. What I was trying to say is that people that have not read the article or know the facts about the article are putting videos out there that are making it a million times worse. I'm not saying that the fact of what's going on isn't already vile and terrible, but the content now surrounding it is making it 10 times worse.
So I guess if I may,
yeah.
Well, I think what Brenna and I are trying to reiterate is that this article didn't make it worse. It's already bad. It doesn't. This is not catastrophizing something in the way that like people are not already catastrophizing their interactions and understanding of like the depravity of some men.
Yes.
And the understanding that some men are like this, necessarily relating to how women treat all men, and reasonably, in my opinion, does not change with this article, nor the sort of alarm that it caused by people, even sharing the incorrect statistics. I will agree that it's important to correct misinformation, but in this instance, even correcting the misinformation does not change the interpretation of the data, which is to say there is a network of people sharing how-to videos about how to rape their like partners or whomever. So like the breadth of that might not be as big as what people are complaining about, but it doesn't change the reality.
And also, and also just to clarify, also, in practice, right? What's amazing is I have not seen anyone I don't want to say anyone, but all these people who are fact checking this 62 million number are, for the most part, saying it's just 1,000 men, and that's also not accurate. And yet
that's not what I'm saying either.
Right, but I'm not seeing that same pushback from all those same people. I mean, the people who are saying I'm here to fact check, it's actually just 1,000 men. That's a fake number, also. That is a bullshit fucking number, and I'm not seeing nearly the same amount of vitriol from the men towards the men that are lying about the number in the other direction. Number one, right? But number two, the crazy thing is, if you actually look up the one thing I keep seeing over and over and over again is, but this suggests it's 1/3 of men in America, right? That's 1/3 of men in America. And you know what's amazing about research? We have it.
That's what I said.
Okay, sorry, I came in a little late.
This is why I wanted to have
research
the
shows
discussion.
that
I'm always
1/3 of
open
men.
to
Sorry, let me
open
just. I would just like to
dialogue.
finish.
Let Brenna finish.
One third of single men in America have admitted to raping a woman.
How many women report being assaulted in their life, Brenna? What's that figure?
God,
It's 1 in 3.
Is it 1 in 3? Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? It's 1 in fucking 3, and it's also that's underreporting because not everybody. Isn't that crazy how those fucking numbers line up? Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
That's exactly
And
the
fun
question
fact-
that I wanted to ask.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No,
So,
Brenna, keep
go
going.
ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, fun fact: many of us who have been assaulted more than once. You know what I mean? By more than one of you guys. Like, it's just, it's you know, it's so not approaching the actual conversation that has to be had among men. I have never seen this many men weigh in on sexual assault. Never in my life. I have never seen this many men weigh in on a fact check. And I do fact check videos. I have a whole fucking sign that I turn on and stuff. I've never seen this amount of excitement over fact checking, especially from the men, you know, and also so many of them are fact checking incorrectly, but also if they care about the facts, why don't they know that it is most likely, at least represented by most of the research we have, 1/3 of men. Anyway.
So let's just go ahead and prove that right here in this live. How many women in this live have been sexually assaulted? I want you to respond with just the number of times.
If
You don't have to do that.
We don't have to do that. Yeah,
I'm just saying, like,
If you feel
that would show this man here who is trying to say that this is all, you know, blah, 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 blah. All you have to do is reply with a number.
I am not here to discredit or make it seem smaller. I was here just for open dialogue. So instead of going back and forth in the chat, we could have an open discussion where we could go over and learn, and without going vicious or back and forth like that other guy that joined. Like, I was here just for an open dialogue. I was not here to argue against you or anything like that.
I don't think that I'm not under any other illusions. I'm just
No,
saying
I'm just
that-
talking about the people in the chat who seem to think that I'm here trying to defend men. Like, that's not why I'm here.
People in the chat are just responding with how many times.
Oh, no, I mean prior
If
to that.
they're comfortable
Sorry.
with it, obviously.
Yeah. So
It's horrific already.
I guess to the point is like,
Are you watching?
I think you initially were like, go respond to Blair's video. Is that what you said?
No,
Different guy.
no, that definitely wasn't me.
Okay, fine. Okay, well that's different. Okay, so like, I guess having talked about this a little bit, are you comfortable clarifying your thesis now?
It's not that I had a set thesis. I just wanted to know that if you had read the article and you understood, because in your video, you said you felt rage when you were reading it. And I felt the same way. It's just the 62 million, like, that's such a jarring number. And that's where I was like, as long as you understood that it wasn't the 62, not saying it was okay at all. It's just
But what I'm
hearing
saying
that
is,
you understood, but you understand that it doesn't matter about the 62 million in that article because it's way bigger than that. No, the problem is way bigger than that CNN article, is what I'm agreeing with you.
sure.
Yeah, but also
Yes.
if the research is to believed, it is closer to 64 million men in America.
Right.
Okay. Yes.
1 in third. The
Yes,
1
yes,
in
yes.
third. Yeah. 1 in 3. Sorry. So I don't think that the clarification in this, I'm going to be honest. I don't really, this is not, there are a lot of men getting on the internet right now, to Brenda's point, and having this very sort of self-reporting knee-jerk reaction to try and understand or try and lessen the idea that there's this many people that want to do this, and that my video a simple gut reaction to those responses.
Okay.
Meaning,
Okay. Now I got you.
Yeah.
Now I got you. That makes sense.
I don't know why you are trying, why your reaction to this is the immediate need to lessen the
Defend
impact.
it or anything. Yes. Got you now.
I want to break your teeth.
Yeah. Okay. I got you now. That makes more sense.
Also,
That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
If I may, because something sort of clarified for me, I just got a comment on one of my videos too about this. They were like, well, the problem is that you were all clinging to this number. And it was like, and no, quite literally, it's the opposite, right? Everyone who is saying the number doesn't really matter are by definition not clinging to the number. They're not insisting on the 62 million men number. That's not it. They are by definition saying, okay, let's fine, accept it. Let's go to the next point. Let's talk about the problem. And the issue is all these bad faith actors in this conversation right now are the ones who are trying to cling to that number to make that the conversation and the issue.
Gotcha.
And no one's clinging to that number that I've seen other than the men who want the focus to just be on the misinformation that, again, they are largely countering with more misinformation. So.
And also the argument for there, no one is on the side of spreading misinformation when it comes to like, even when it helps. I think that it's important to be like, dang, that Monty Mater did a video and be like, was like 62 million men. I'm gonna curb stomp your fucking, and then 2 minutes later she was like 62 million hits. Doesn't lessen the impact, does it? So like it's fundamentally like nobody is trying to hype this up because the statistics on their own are enough to be stomach turning. I think is like, and again, to that end, all you have to do is go, okay, so to Brenda's video was like, okay, so it wasn't 62 million men. It's still a fuck ton. It doesn't matter.
It's still too many.
The reaction is the same. So that's it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel like, and I've seen this a lot online. Like the reason I wanted to have a dialogue in a discourse is to be able to talk and learn and not just try to push, oh, this is what I think, this is what's right, is to actually be able to have a conversation about it where people can share the points like Brenna did and you have, and the actual fact and the purpose of what you're talking about is out there. I didn't understand why you made the video with the rage like you did, but you just explained it. So it makes perfect sense because you were seeing what you thought I was doing, trying to downplay it.
If he would have been a woman, would you have accepted it?
I would have still had the conversation. It has nothing to do with man or woman. It was just trying to have a conversation. I wasn't trying to change his mind or tell him he was wrong.
I guess so. I'm all for dialogue.
I feel like he really needs to think about that. Like, if you were a woman, would he have come on and tried to understand?
To learn from a woman is the most important thing to do.
Okay. Did you watch how many videos?
That would mean you respect and believe survivors and okay.
I mean, I don't.
Brenna, what do you think about that?
I'm open to, you're here asking, you're wondering, you got information, you're saying, cool, cool. And I think I want to commend that. But also I do think it's interesting you're saying that because I want you to ask yourself, I don't need this answer, but I would love for you to ask yourself when you were wondering this and when you're wondering about what Sam was saying and when you're wondering about what this whole dialogue was, what was pissing people off, I'm wondering if you sought out videos being made by women on this.
Yes.
Cool.
I have.
So I don't know what all those women
Can
are
I
saying.
just say that if you were, you would not be asking this question. Like,
it wasn't a matter of asking a question in a negative way.
Right, but you were asking this question. I'm going to accept that you're saying you were asking the question because you're genuinely curious, and people were asking, okay, but would you have listened if it was a woman? And we're kind of pointing out, if you sought out what women were saying about this, right, then you probably would have already had the answer to your question, but you needed to ask Sam anyway.
It's not that I was asking him. understanding where his rage was coming from. Because the only video that I saw from him was his last video about his rage.
But you're on the live and you know where he stands. So what are you talking about?
It wasn't questioning or going against what he was saying.
Can I just pause for a second? Somebody in here said, I had to look up sexual assault. Any unwanted touching, that's a low bar. And you're in here a lot, Johnny, and I just would love for you to explain to me, if I were to, for instance, at a bus stop, for instance, be sitting next to you, and I just sort of got real close, Johnny. And I got right up there and I said, man, you smell really good, Johnny. And I put my hand on the crease of your thigh. Would you feel like that was fine? Is that would I'm trying to clarify why some men don't think that unwanted touching constitutes fucking assault. And what's a really fucking useful illustrative way for men to understand that is if another man does it to you, because they don't think about that really. It's unwanted, and if it's unwanted and someone touches you, that's assault, brother. That's the letter of the law. People who say shit like that, it's a low bar, have not had it happen to you. No woman who has been assaulted, which is being touched unwanted or worse, would agree with you. Motherfucker. You haven't been assaulted, you don't get it. There's a lot of that. What's crazy is how often that sentiment, that idea rears its ugly head in our society right now. I don't understand what it's like to receive unwanted police attention because the color of my skin must mean it's not happening. It doesn't affect you. So please shut the fuck up about that. You haven't had that. I pray it doesn't happen to you. When it does happen to you, you'll get why the bar is so fucking low for the definition of assault. I hope that helps.
These same dudes, by the way, are deeply uncomfortable around gay men.
Of course. Okay, so could I ask the question one more time, just from the chat? One more time. And I'm not saying that anybody needs to say anything that they're not comfortable saying. But how many times as a woman have you been sexually assaulted by Sam's definition here? How many times? Just go ahead and throw out a number.
If it's just unwanted touching.
And dude, I want you to just go ahead and pay attention to this chat for a minute.
People are asking you to stop asking this question. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
It's not about outing. I feel like it needs to be talked about more.
If you're comfortable.
It happens so often, so fucking often, and so many people stay silent. They don't feel like they can just come into a chat and go ahead and say 3 or 5 or whatever. You know what I mean? Don't you think they should be able to?
Someone said this is why the Democratic Party is losing men voters, because you're man haters. I just want to point this out. We are talking about how rape is bad and sexual assault is bad, and you hear that and you say, oh, you hate men. So are you the person who's saying that men are all rapists? Because that sure fucking sounds like it. Are men oppressed by women talking about how sexual assault is bad? Women and men talking about how sexual assault is bad? Is that oppressing men? Just us saying that?
I would just love for Tom to grow some fucking stones and come talk to us. Again, the self-reporting in this sphere is crazy. It's happening a lot, and it's coming from the people who masturbate to the idea of protecting women. It's their fucking fantasy to do this. they go to bed thinking about this and how the sanctity of women's sport or whatever the fuck bullshit platitude they say. And also, by the way, those are the same people that like say, you know, those women that we protect shouldn't have autonomy over the, we're getting lost. But like the point is, all of these people
that is such a good point. They hate like 0.1% of the population or 1% of the population so much because they claim that they're so concerned about who they are referring to as men sexually assaulting women. But all of a sudden, when you start talking about women who are actually being sexually assaulted, it's no, you're man haters.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is why we lose.
Such a good point.
Get kicked in the dick, actually.
That's bang on.
Yeah. So that's my rage.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be triggering. I'm not trying to, make people reveal more than they want to. I just feel like a lot of us hold that shit in, and it's actually kind of relieving to be in a safe space. Sam, you are a safe space.
So can I say something and direct it at the chat? Because
In 2 seconds. In 2
Pardon?
seconds.
Yes,
In 2 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would just like to say also, Brianne, like, you are such an amazing force and so uplifting at all times. I absolutely love you. And I'm so absolutely ridiculously kind of fangirled, honored to be here in this chat with you. But yes, I think
knows.
that stop. I think that women are afraid always to come forward. And all I wanted was just this big opportunity to say 2 or 3 or 10, or there have been, and I hope, douchebag at the bottom of the screen, I don't even know your name, but whatever, that you have seen that it's not just us being, pissed off about 62. It's about the real life experiences that we go through. Okay?
I was
You get
never
that
coming
now?
in here to downplay that at all. So I apologize
that,
if you
though?
came across like that. That was not my intention at all. So I do understand what you're saying, Mama K.
I'm going to mute myself before I badmouth you.
All right. Look. There was something else I was going to say about this. Damn, it's gone now. It's gone now. Impact over intent, etc. Oh yeah, this is the thing that I was going to say about this. Men, not all men, men by and large remain blissfully ignorant of the perils of being a woman for most of their fucking entire lives. And it is something that we are not, all of us are not immune to. And those without sisters have moms. Those without moms have known a woman once. And I think that like, for a huge period of my life, I didn't really fully grasp what that was like until I asked, or this information was volunteered to me. And it takes a certain kind of person to dismiss what the people closest in your life are telling you about the fear that they feel in any given situation. And that says a lot about who you are if you are going to be given that kind of information by somebody who you claim to care about and then say it's not that bad. So if you find yourself as a guy saying can't be, couldn't possibly be, it's not really, you need to just accept that you don't have any fucking idea what this problem is. So yeah, I think just keep that in mind, maybe if you find yourself in a position where you're like, I need to defend my gender right now.
No, not defending men.
I'm not saying
At
you.
all.
I'm saying them.
Okay,
People.
gotcha.
Yeah. All right.
Also, so just to the, I wanted to get the exact figures, just to that point of someone saying sexual assault is a high bar, or, you know, just unwanted contact is a high bar. Yeah, we already illustrated that most unwanted contact isn't even treated like SA, just to be clear. I've been grabbed more times than I can count, and I wouldn't even count those in the top 10 usually. But in at least one study of single men in the United States, it was 24.5% of these men acknowledged committing an act since the age of 14 that met standard legal definitions of attempted or completed rape. And an additional 39%, that's on top of the 24.5%, had committed another type of sexual assault involving forced sexual contact or verbal coercion. So yeah, maybe I don't know. Is the bar that low? Really? I don't fucking know. I mean, this study doesn't even look at just unwanted touching. You know what I mean? It's not even unwanted touching.
And can we just talk about the fact that like most people and most women in certain states don't even understand that certain types of, like, do you know how you see a movie and somebody wakes up in the morning and they're like, oh, did we though? Wait, that would be fucking exactly what we're talking about. Like, I'm just saying that there are certain states like Wisconsin, that everybody is annihilated pretty much all the time, and like they don't report it because it just is like a norm.
Okay, listen, I've got a daughter.
It's super random, but just throwing that out there.
I've got a daughter. She just turned 20. The advice I gave her is if that happens and she can or is willing to, or just call me. Just call me.
Okay.
You know, if you're not advocating for them to take it to extreme measures and you're not helping them.
Oh, brother, let me fucking hit this out of the park for you. Okay? Guess what this machismo shit does for your daughter. If your daughter is assaulted, she's less likely to tell you because she's worried that you are going to go and do something and ruin your life on her behalf. It is exactly this reason that women don't report the assault to their
No. They don't report because they're not believed. You don't get to do it both ways. You don't get to do that. Okay.
Actually, it's multiple things. Hey, buddy, it's multiple things, and multiple things can be true. Women are not believed, and yes, that decreases the likelihood of them reporting it. Yes, that decreases the likelihood of them reporting it. Also, women can be afraid that their dads or boyfriends or husbands will go and do something stupid because that's all they say, because that's all they do this about, and not tell them, decrease the chances of them telling them because of that. Multiple things, in fact, can be true at once. Yes.
So basically, so to break this down for you.
Are you afraid that the women that have been assaulted and know who their perpetrators are will go out and start getting justice? And then the system should back them up and the men in their life should back them up and be willing to?
That's what you think. That's what, like, a woman is speaking plain fucking English to you. And that's what you hear. You hear something completely opposite to what I'm saying? In order for women to get justice, they need to feel like it's safe to report. But if you make it feel less safe for them to report it, because all you do is say, I'll kill him, you tell me, and I'll go and I'll deal with it. That's the only thing you say. If that's the only thing you say, it is less likely.
You're talking about that guy on TV that's a chicken shit.
No.
I don't hear Mr. Good Trouble saying for those women who are currently in trial and in jail for doing that. I don't even mention their names. You don't even mention their names.
How about you mention their names? You mention.
Give us a name.
Give us a name. Googling. Yeah.
Is it gone?
No, he's Googling. He swiped out of the app and he's Googling right now. You can see because his photo disappeared. We can tell that you swiped out of the app, buddy.
Wait,
Yeah, I'm sure you can tell.
Okay,
I'm
so
sure you can tell.
who are these women that on whose names we should be championing?
That you don't even know says enough to me. Okay?
You don't know.
I already said what I said.
You don't fucking know.
But you're holding that up like a trophy because
you're saying
know.
we need to know and you don't.
Because you
That's the whole
don't know.
point. What the fuck? What kind of reverse?
How many people are in the live
psychology
right
is
now,
this?
dude? 1,600 people in the live right now. You don't know, and you can't admit that. And my daughter should.
But he can, you know what? Sam can actually name the name of at least one woman who's been raped. Go ahead, Sam.
I can name dozens.
He can name a lot. He can name a lot. Yeah.
You know what I do know?
Dozens in here.
I did mention them. And I do know about them. I know about the woman in Michigan. I know about the woman in Florida who
What are their names?
Who killed the
What are their
guy
names?
who was
What are their
sexually
names?
trafficking
What are
her.
their fucking names?
Sweetie, is
Mr.
your
Distro,
intention to protect these women?
Wait.
Shouldn't you be able to name at least one name at the same time you're asking
What
me that
you're
question?
saying? These women,
Shouldn't
you are
you?
not.
Yes,
you don't
yes,
think they're
yes.
fucking human beings. If you knew, you would tell us. You don't.
You know what? I used to make that a priority in my life, and still I had to concentrate on
And yet
listening
you
to
are demanding
motherfuckers
that
like
I know, you
to get all the
dumbass.
drama.
For backup, you almost ran straight into the point. You said, shouldn't
hold
Sam
on
know?
1 second. Hold on
Well,
one
he
second.
just
Can
said, I
talk
just want to
this guy?
illustrate. For backup he said, shouldn't Sam know their names if he's expecting or asking for backup to know? That's exactly our point. You're the one who demanded that Sam name someone who's in trial right now. So he said we asked you to do that.
That wasn't my demand.
That was your demand.
No, what my demand was why aren't you taking up for these women that do this?
Okay,
All
so
right,
can
and
I
he
ask you a
said
question
you
real
name the
quick?
name. He's the one that asked me to name the names, okay? And
No, you fucking moron.
you're the
That's
one
not
who-
true.
All right, real
That's
quick,
not.
what are you doing
that
to
thing
protect
you talk
these
about,
women?
you want to punch somebody in the face?
No.
Eat a dick, dude.
Stop escalating. You need to stop.
I would like to punch.
Okay,
You
you
can
need to
call me
stop
a
for a
moron,
minute.
but you can't even admit that you don't know one of the names.
You're the one
I
who
did know
brought
their
it up.
names. I did
You're
know their
not-
names. I-
Mama,
I did
please.
know their
proving
names.
Mama,
any
please.
points.
Mama, please.
I did know their names.
Okay. What is your goal? Your goal is to help somebody. Is your goal to help somebody?
My goal was to make sure that my daughter grew up safe and happy and comfortable, and my sons grew up knowing what it meant to be a man. You know, not
Okay.
the
For
man,
backup.
that does this
Sorry.
stupid shit.
Can I please ask a question? That's great. That's so great. I'm so glad you said that for backup. So you told us the conversation you had with your daughter. What's the conversation you had with your sons?
Oh man, that was like years long because it was.
What was it, honey? What was it? What did you say to your sons? Because you got to stop protecting your daughters from angry men.
It's not a short
and you need to
conversation.
start.
So let's
Basically,
start. Okay, Mama.
Basically, in short,
Mama, let him answer, please.
I'm sorry.
We got it.
I appreciate
in short, it was God does not exist. He was created by a patriarchal society, crooked men and wicked rulers to subjugate and enslave the native populations of the world, which held the matriarchal society as the top tier. Women were in charge and they wanted to take that from them. And part of that God project was they let God have their wife, Mary. Well, she was 12 to 14 years old, according to the scholars.
So, wow, I love this part. Can you skip to the chapter about consent that you explained to them?
Oh, wow. No, I mean, all of that's in there.
Every time he goes to look something up.
You don't. So the conversation you had with your sons, you can't remember the part you had, the part of that conversation you had that was about consent? Also, I mean, I love that when you explain the conversation you had with your daughter, you said if that happens to you, if a man does this to you, you call me, I'll deal with it. But when I ask you about the conversation you had with your sons, apparently it's this whole it's a saga, right? It's an epic tale. Did you never have a conversation? I'm assuming you're just rattling off everything you've ever said to your sons. So are you trying to say that the only conversation you ever had with your daughter was if she gets raped to call you? That's all you thought to talk to her about? Whereas with your sons, you didn't even talk about the consent thing. You told them a whole saga, whatever it is that you were explaining?
No, actually, I told her about her grandmothers, her mothers, her wife, her mother, my mother, the people in our lives that were sexually assaulted.
Okay, so did you tell your sons about that? Did you tell your sons?
Yes.
Okay.
We said that's part of the process of sitting around the table and discussing things with your family, being close to your family and them understanding that they can trust you with anything, the good and the bad, the hurt.
So when I ask you, I say you tell us the conversation you had with your daughter about supposedly preventing rape. I mean, it wasn't. It's just, if it happens, call me, which doesn't really do anything to prevent it in my experience. But you told us that part, and I asked you, what was the conversation you had with your sons? Why isn't there something, at least, why were you obfuscating and jumping to an entirely different subject?
No, I wasn't jumping to an entirely different subject. It's all related. You don't just teach your sons that no means no. You teach them.
Did you though?
Yes. Oh God, there's so much more behind it though. It's literally not just no means no. It's a frame of mind that real men have to understand and comprehend, because otherwise they fall into all those other categories. It's something simple as a touch or a word is assault, and they need to know that. They need to know what is appropriate behavior and what's absolutely unacceptable.
Okay, so that was all I was fucking asking, and I don't know why it took so long.
Wait a minute. No.
I don't know why it took you so long to get to this point. Now that I've told you what I was looking for,
I can tell you why it took so long, because my first thought was about a little kid named Ross who lived down the street from us. He was a couple years older than my son. I asked my wife not to have Ross around because he had some tendencies that I wasn't really okay with. And then one day Ross told my two sons and their two.
What the fuck is happening?
You just got cut off. Okay. We talk so much. I hear so much from men about what they say to women and the role that they play in women's lives. Oh, I'm so against rape. And if they were to rape, I would do this. I would do that. I would, whatever. I'm not, present company excluded, Sam. It's just incredible that I hear so much more about what men talk to women about with regards to rape and not what men talk to other men about. You're not going to fucking solve the problem by telling us about it. I just don't we're the ones who are telling you about it. We are the ones who have to tell you about it. And when we do, you get mad. You get so fucking angry and you find any excuse not to hear us. And then when you do try to talk about it, so much of it is about what you're saying to women. I don't give a fuck what you have to say to women. I want to know what you're saying to men. Jesus Christ. And it's so hard when I have these conversations where people men are well, what can we do about this? This is a problem. It's yeah, it's a fucking problem. So talk to your friends. Well, sure I do, but whatever. There's there's layers and layers. It's well, we don't really talk about stuff like this. Well, we do. Okay, so start the conversation. You're also a part of that relationship. You're an equal part of whatever fucking friendship you have with any other man.
First experience.
If you don't have the conversation, start the conversation. Call your friends up. Hey, listen, guys.
Did I talk to my daughter?
To the men in here. To the men in the chat right now, I would love this. I have one fucking request of you. To every man in this chat right now, if you give a shit about rape, especially the majority, of course, being against women or essay, I beg of you, tomorrow, pick one fucking friend or man or person in your life to call up and just have a fucking conversation about it. Just one fucking thing. That's all I'm asking. Call one male friend up and say, hey man, you know what? I've been listening to a lot of fucking women talk about this issue for the last few days. And I don't think we as men talk to each other enough or check in with each other enough to talk about how this is a real issue. Like, should we have a conversation about it? Just have a fucking conversation about it. It's really not that hard. So that's your fucking homework. That's my one request for every man who's listening. If you really are the warrior that you say you are on this fucking subject, go out and do one thing. Call one male friend up tomorrow and have that conversation. That's it. That's such a fucking stupid thing to ask. Yeah, why? A25, come up and talk about why it's such a stupid thing to ask.
There you go.
Looking for understanding in why.
I don't care. Go on.
Why is it such a stupid thing to ask, A25?
I'll explain it to you why it's such a stupid thing to ask. It's a ridiculous thing to even request of people. Can you imagine me just calling up one of my good buddies and being like, hey man, you know rape is bad? Like, you know,
is that what I said to do? Is that what I said to do?
Hey man, like how bad is rape right now? Yeah. You know how bad rape is? Like, come on, bro. Like that's such a ridiculous thing to even think.
Hey man. Hey, let's just focus in right now.
Come on.
What are you mad at right now?
Well, I'll tell you what I was mad to start with was trivializing the misinformation that is being weaponized by people that basically hate men and being weaponized against that and using it against men in that situation.
How is it being weaponized against us?
It's being weaponized against men because it's being used in bad faith by misandrists to create content out of this and just make it seem like it's 62 million men that are just doing all this and they're so bad in situations like this.
It's actually, what's funny is that it's actually closer to 64 million men in America that have committed assault. So.
We're talking about the website, right?
No, I'm talking about the research. Yeah, you're talking about the website because you just want to focus on
because that was the whole point of this conversation.
No, actually,
about the research. Actually, the point
A25, no, we've moved on to the subject of actual rape. You're the one who wants the subject to just be the one fucking number of 62
No, I don't
million.
want it to just be that, but I think it's important considering I think misinformation.
This is the whole thing we've been talking about tonight is dudes who go, well, actually, to try and obfuscate from the idea that like this is happening in numbers that are sort of like hard to believe. And dudes who come in and defend this idea are the ones who are like missing the fucking plot.
I disagree with that. I think it can be simultaneously both. We can both condemn the atrocity. Hold on, let me finish. It can be both condemning the abomination of
you haven't done shit. You haven't condemned shit. You came up here saying to a woman, your suggestion on how to condemn this is bad. This is my point. Shut the fuck up, you goon. The first thing the fucking video I said was the knee-jerk reaction for gross tiny little men is to focus on this fucking the pedantics, the semantics of this fucking the misinformation. We're all in agreement. Kudos. You did it. Misinformation's bad. I appreciate that, White Knight. But the more to the point is your only thing that you're upset about this, and I can tell by the words misandrist, is the fact that like this is going to correctly, I might add, negatively reflect badly upon certain men. I have full confidence in declaring that you are more than likely in that fucking pool. If you think, shut the fuck up. Wait.
Sorry, can I just point out?
In a minute. If you think, shut the fuck up. If you think that they are talking about you, they are. That is overwhelmingly men prove that fucking time and time again. You come on the internet and you pull down your pants and you show exactly who you are. But your first fucking problem is this and not the fucking rape. This is the entire conversation. Shut the fuck up. What part of consent is so difficult for you right now? The entire fucking conversation is about this. Something that you and other men like you do not seem to understand. I'm gonna finish all over you right now if you don't shut the fuck up.
Well, let me finish then.
Can I prove it? I'm going to prove it. Oh, man. A25. I would love for you. I would love for A25. A25, can you come back up? I have one thing to prove to you.
He's listening.
Okay, A25. This guy in here, John something. God.
John would be good to get
yes.
him.
Yeah, that guy said the point is it's 100. It's 1,100 men. That's
we just did this.
Yeah. That's what he said. So you're mad, right? You're mad that he said that, right? A25?
Oh, such a good point.
You're real mad that he said that, right? A25?
Am I allowed to speak? Am I allowed to answer the questions?
Yeah, you're mad that
conversation.
You're mad that guy said it's 1,100, right?
Why would I I'm mad that it's that many people that's on this website? That's
No, you're mad that he said it. You're mad that he said it's only 1,100 men, right?
Why would no?
Why not?
No,
why aren't you mad?
It's only 1,100 men. No,
Yeah,
it shouldn't be any men.
Why not?
Why shouldn't it be any men?
No. Why aren't you mad that he said it's 1,100 men?
Let me dumb this down for this person. Let me fucking dumb this down for you. You're mad. I'm going to dumb it down for you.
Why are you not mad?
You're mad that people are saying that it's 62 million men, right? That makes you mad. Somebody in here was just like, no, actually, it's only 1,100 men, which is also deeply incorrect. Are you mad at this guy?
I am mad that the conversation we can't have both conversations at the same time.
Oh, isn't that so fucking interesting?
So, okay, let me ask you this.
Okay,
I
so you're only mad at the misinformation. You're only mad at the misinformation. Because, you're mad at the misinformation, right? When you think that it's an opportunity for you to call women liars.
Shut up, dude.
Right?
Shut the fuck up. Listen to me. I need you to understand the thing that I was saying in my video about like swinging on a fuck. I mean that so deeply in the bowels of my truth. If you were to be here speaking over this woman in my fucking vicinity, this is making me see goddamn red. You have some sort of fucking malfunction. You just said you followed me for a long time. First of all, kudos. I could give a fuck if like I don't understand what you think that qualifies you for. You should at this point understand that them's the rules in here. When I tell you to shut the fuck up and let her finish, you should. And you shouldn't come up here and then be like, oh, can I? Because you haven't been fucking listening. We're asking you a simple question. Are you upset about this the same way that you were upset about the other misinformation being spread? The answer is no, because your primary focus is how many men this is going to reflect negatively upon. That's what I said to you. You fucking reflected that, the truth in that, by instantly saying we should be able to talk about those two things, which is the thing I've been fucking saying. I've been saying it's not that important that this misinformation is going around, because the true nature of men in America is possibly even fucking worse. You don't want to grapple with that. You want to move this conversation away to misandrists. And I'm telling you that I would kick you square in the fucking jaw if I heard you say that in real life. Cool. Because this infuriates me.
So, and A25, you don't care. A25, you don't care about the facts because you didn't even bother to look them up. That's the thing. All you got excited about saying it's not 62 million men. And guess what? No one here disagrees with that. No one here disagrees with you. We were talking about sexual assault, and we were talking, and specifically, and I still want to get back to this eventually, I was specifically talking to men, asking them to talk to men about sexual assault, not women, to stop fucking coming at us and telling us everything you feel about sexual assault. I could not give a fuck, right?
Yeah.
But so you decided to enter that conversation. No one here is saying it's 62 million men on that website, mind you. It is, research suggests it's more than that in America, but again, different part of the conversation. So when you come in here and you jump on this and you're like, well, the problem is the misinformation, the 62 million men thing on the website, whatever, I want to know why you never even bothered to look up the figures, because it seems to me you're just excited to say it's fewer men. It's fewer men. All you want to do is call a woman a fucking liar and say it's fewer men than that. And you don't care when a man gives another number that is equally as fucking ridiculous and not based in any fucking reality. You don't get mad at him. And in fact, you're confused when I ask you if you're equally as mad at him, because you don't even have a concept of what the real number is. That's how little you give a fuck about the facts. All you wanted to do was to call women liars and say it's fewer men than that. That's all you fucking wanted.
No, it's not. And I'll explain my reasons why. It should be important to have the type of conversation to where we can correct misinformation and at the same time condemning these issues and what this website represents in the greater scale of this conversation.
Right.
What
and so we were not spreading misinformation.
Hold on, let me finish, please. Can I please finish?
Why? Why would we do that to you? Why would we extend this fucking?
Because I haven't been able.
Who gives a shit? You were trying to talk over both of us the entire time. Why should we extend this fucking courtesy to you? Who gives a shit?
Let me finish.
We don't need to hear from you.
Okay, then fine.
Go nuts.
You don't want to be open to the conversation in this situation.
We're open to what? I'm just giving you a little fucking taste. I'm just giving you a little fucking taste of how infuriating it is.
You're not.
Yes, I am, absolutely.
I'll kick you in the face.
Go nuts, dude. Get your point out. Get your point out. Go nuts.
All right, I'll get my point out.
Great.
What it does is it creates space for bad faith agitators to.
Oh, damn, we lost him. Who gives a fuck?
Like you, dude. You are the bad faith agitator.
Damn, dude.
We weren't. I know. It always happens, doesn't it? Gosh. 825, you came in here to bring up the 62 million figure when we weren't even talking about that. We're not spreading that bit of information. Fun fact. So you're not here to correct shit. You're here to derail the conversation, to talk about a number that no one here is spreading. And then when it's pointed out to you that another man is spreading misinformation and actually spreading misinformation, which we were not doing, you couldn't give a fuck. So stop lying. Everyone here sees you. Everyone here sees what you're doing. And I would love to hear from another man. So again, I would love to bring it back to the point. Men, if you give a fuck about sexual assault, if you do, if that is something you think about yourself and you assert about yourself, I am asking you tomorrow, call up one male friend in your life and say, let's have a fucking conversation about this, because people are talking about it. I find it amazing that you have so much energy to talk about it with me, with Sam, but zero energy to talk about it with your friends.
I also find it very interesting. I also like, it has to be said, the way that fucking triggered him was I think telling. Like, what am I supposed to do about that? Yeah, I think, I'm not a fucking psychologist, but like the way that just the sheer discomfort that brought you, the thought of even discussing this with your boys makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I've talked about trans rights. I've talked about racism. I've talked about ICE with my friends who are cis het white Americans. It's amazing. You. This motherfucker.
This motherfucker. Talk about that shit all the time.
Yeah. I've never had trouble bringing up a subject like that.
I understand that like the machismo shit like is not helpful in this moment. I'm just trying to be my true and authentic self. Like the fact this particular thing for some reason is a big trigger for me. Like the everything else. Not everything else, but like there's lots of other conversations where you're just like, if you don't instantly get this, we got to walk down this road. And if you are purposefully sort of willfully ignorant, there's a certain point where not. This thing, like this should be a thing that you understand natively. This should be something that that should be baked into your fucking bones, and it's not. And I don't have a lot of fucking patience for that. And the even the whiff of the idea that you would like come up and defend, like why is your defensive posture that and not on our side? You claim to have been a follower for a long time. Where has the disconnect here? What part of this? Also, it has to be said, the like immediate like bringing up of misandry, the idea that there's a system in place somehow disenfranchising men. That's news to me. Do you know what I'm saying? That's crazy, dude. You know, I guess I'm just a fucking, I don't know, just a one in a million. I don't have any fucking experience with this. Isn't that so interesting? You know what's crazy about that too? Dozens of men listening to this have never once been the victim of misandry. Not one fucking time. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that so nuts? I don't know if you're dudes here in here, like confused by this. I'm flabbergasted that you didn't know these are my fucking positions. And I'm embarrassed, honestly, that I haven't been more sort of militant and vocal about this. That's a my bad. I'll stop doing that. However, I've been beating around the bush that you've missed this fucking message. Let me be clear. Shut the fuck up, you goon. Smash that fucking unfollow button. Goodbye. Don't you listen, you are so far off the fucking mark here. I don't know how we can align on all of the other shit that I talk about, which is damn near everything at this point, but not this. Kick rocks, dude. Who cares? I don't care. I would love to fucking change your mind. But if you and I are not aligned on whether or not rape is bad, I have some fucking things to say to you. You bitch ass. That's what I think. I don't know. What do you think?
Also, I just want to point out, I think, but the misandry. Okay. If women, you cannot get me to give a fuck if a woman hates all men, because like, how is that the same? In the same way that, like, listen, there are men out there that hate all women for sure, and I don't like it. But like that in and of itself isn't the problem, right? Like I think it's problematic because it seeps into their biases, right? And it results in discrimination and it affects the way they treat women. But the problem there that I can tackle and we can talk about is how they then treat women, right? Like we can, but if a woman is simply like, I hate men, therefore I don't put myself in compromising situations with them. I don't trust them. I avoid them. That's not, if that's the problem you want to fucking solve for, it's just not women not feeling safe around men and putting themselves in avoiding situations in which they are around men, or specific men isn't really like, that big of a fucking problem. Like you can't convince me that is a problematic behavior. You know what I mean? And if it is, we'll tackle it. Let's talk about the problematic behavior that results from this, right? Or that it is statistically even fucking relevant or even emotionally comparable to femicide. Come up here and fucking tell me that to my face, that sometimes when women are mean to you, it's the same as rape and murder. And for those of you who are like, you're beating your chest, this is how I feel. Yeah. And shut the fuck up. Yeah. And on the other side, it's like, at the same time, right? You guys, part of the argument, it's like, oh, okay. So the problem is that misandry. Okay. So you're going to be upset if a woman hates all men. Okay. Why is that upsetting to you? What's the effect? Oh, because then they don't want to be around men. The one thing I heard today was, oh, they want all men to disappear. That's not what that means, but okay. So when we ask you, why do women need men around? You always say, well, it's because like we have to protect them. We want this. We wanted this. Brother, you want us afraid of men. You want us afraid of men. This is, sorry to bring this up, but this is kind of a classic like Israel thing, trying to convince trying to like confuse the subject or like Netanyahu and a lot of the government, they love increasing anti-Semitism around the world because it scares the diaspora into supporting them more and being like, you know what, this is why we need you, right? It's the same fucking thing. You, like, so many men want women scared just so that we run into their arms. It just, like, I cannot, it's just.
That's bars, dude. That's like half of this whole fucking, like, masturbatory, like, white knight savior complex is that, like, it's necessarily reliant on women's fear of everything and everyone all the time. And how do you do that? It's just, yeah, golly.
Yeah, you want us to want men around for protection, and then act as though it's horrifying when women say they're afraid of men.
I can't believe this. Yeah, you're the one who's just like, we got to protect them from other men. Fucking lock in, dude. It's your propaganda. That's Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then also we say, well, being a man is so much more dangerous. Okay, why? Why is it so dangerous to be a man, brother? Like, men are, you guys are just as dangerous, not just as, but you guys are also very dangerous to each other. Like, whatever.
Fucking true. I don't know, man. I think.
You want to hear a fucking crazy one I heard today? From a regular in my lives, like, that's been there for years. I was really fucking disappointed, and I hope he never fucking shows up again. But I was talking about the statistics, right? About this study of, like, 1/3 of college men admit that they would rape a woman if they could get away with it, right? 24.5% of men admit to having committed an act that would be considered, like a criminal act of rape or attempted rape, at least once in their lives. 39% have admitted to having, committed some form of, like, criminal sexual assault, whatever. I just read this out, right? And the guy says, but the women are deceitful. So I just told you about men admitting to having committed rape, and your immediate response to that is, but the women are lying. That is your fucking response to that.
Yeah.
I just, I fucking swear, yeah.
No, this is, again, I don't know. And a regular, you said?
A regular. I did lose it, AK. Oh, AK, earlier I was also taking screenshots. I was like, where's AK? Let's see if he can track down these people.
But, like, again, I'm trying to fucking slow my heart rate. I've been saying I'm just fast and loose right now. I just don't I'm not.
So that's the other problem.
It.
Yeah. Sorry, go.
I'm not defending it, but can we get a reference to these wild statistics?
Yeah, it's called, you know what's funny? I was trying to pull up the study. That's why I was on my computer for a second, because I knew I had sent the link to someone on Threads. A man on Threads challenged my video and was like, oh, but no, let's fact check the numbers. And I was like, cool. Well, just so it can't be, it's not 1/3 of men in America. And I was like, that's funny, because it kind of is. It's closer to 1/3 than you think. And he was like, can you give me a fucking thing to the study? Sent him a link, did a quote. I sent him a list of other studies showing, similar ranges of numbers and stuff, whatever. And so I knew that the link to the study was going to be in my Threads, and I was just going there to, like, pull it up. He deleted his fucking comment. He never responded. He never responded to me to be like, oh, you know what? You're right. Yeah, thanks for the fucking research. Since I care so much about misinformation and the numbers, just straight up deleted his comment, which deleted mine. It's just whatever. So anyway, the study is called Cross-Sectional Predictors of Sexual Assault Perpetration in a Community Sample of Single African American and Caucasian Men.
Sounds like a study.
Yeah. And this is just one of them, right? So as when we were talking about in my live earlier today / yesterday, You can find a fuck ton of them. What I like about this one is that it also lists a bunch of other studies, but this one specifically looks at single men, right? Single men in America. But it references a bunch of other studies that look at different like cross sections and demographics of men and stuff.
This guy's asking how large is the set. Can you just read off the name of the study again? Because I bet you the set's in.
Cross-sectional predictors of sexual assault perpetration in a community sample of single African American and Caucasian men. And in it has a list of a bunch of different fucking studies. And it explains the methodology of a bunch of other studies.
I guess I don't understand.
Numerous researchers. So this one on college, there's a famous one about college students, which I keep referring to, that was like 1/3 of college-aged men admit that they would rape a woman if they could get away with it, as long as you don't call it, as long as you don't use that word. They say, one third of them technically don't say I would rape a woman. They say I would force a woman to have sexual intercourse with me if I could get away with it.
How many versions of what you said right there were equal?
What?
What? Okay. I'm new here. Hi, everybody. But you've thrown out 8,022 stats. Right?
No, actually, I've mostly focused on 3, really.
Okay.
Ron, are we in a place of inebriation?
Yes, 100%. But
maybe this is not the fucking time. You think? What do you think?
No.
Yeah. Maybe lock in here, bud. I don't really care about the drunk philosophies right now. You're having
Yeah, they don't care. You guys don't care about the rape. All you ever want to do is try to like push back on the numbers. And I fucking hate whoever gave them one bullshit number. I fucking hate whoever did that. Because man, you fucked this up for us. But that doesn't mean any of you, yes, they misread it.
But it is.
But it bothers me because it gave all these fucking assholes that would push back on any numbers whatsoever. It gave them something to fucking focus on. And
there is a larger conversation about the pandemic of not being able to read an article. Mm-hmm. And it took me 21 minutes to read this fucking article. Okay. Probably, maybe. I also saw videos of one of the reporters like going to meet this guy in one of them in real life, right? Mm-hmm. The like TikTokification of reporting, not naming any names, but like the idea that this gets heard by somebody and repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated and in some like in telephone is literally like that's a conversation. Brenna's not saying that we shouldn't be having this conversation. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be having this conversation. I'm saying that the conversation that this piece of information is being used maliciously to obfuscate from the fact that this thing is happening at enormous scale. That's the conversation that we're having right now. Period. Why about this are you concerned about misinformation? Suddenly, the people who are like, I think there's nanobots in the vaccines are saying, well, hang on, it's not actually 62 million. Shut the fuck up. You've never cared about this before. Suddenly, let's focus. You don't care about, right? Anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing also, especially the ones, as we kind of addressed already, but for the people who are just cycling through now, everyone who is fact checking the number by saying it's only 1,000 men are also spreading misinformation. That's how little they care about the facts. It proves it. As soon as one of them, and I asked this in my live yesterday or today, I'm going to ask it again. If you see someone fact checking with that number, call them out because they're also lying. The article doesn't say it's 1,000 men only. That's not even a little bit what it says. It's 1,000 men in one of many group chats. It's a hell of a lot more on that fucking website. Viewing that specific type of content. It is over 20,000 videos of that type of content that these researchers, that these reporters found, right? And who knows what else is on that fucking thing. But they found at least 20,000 of that type of video with hundreds of thousands of views on this website. It is not just 1,000.
Can I just ask a question now? Okay. Having said all that and having hit our collective heads against the wall certain times, I think this is obviously one of the most emotionally charged conversations our fucking human species can talk about. There are a lot of people with experiences like here that really want to like say stuff about this. I don't want to leave 30 women in the requests not having said their piece about this, and I would like for them to have their moment. I would like for you guys to, if I wish they could just give a topic line under everybody's request bar so that I understand, but like I would love if some of you like have something that you really wanted to talk about, let it be known in the chat so that I can bring you up, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If you don't mind.
Feel free to drop me at any point. I'm just
You can stay.
Feel free to. I'm just saying you can withdraw consent at any time, Sam.
Well.
Jesus.
Thanks, JJ.
I found 46 videos of me taken by hidden camera on an ex's laptop.
What?
Yeah, we also don't talk about the normalization. Can I also, not to take away from that, one of the men who raped me took photos of me and let slip at one point that he and his friends share photos of their conquests in group chats. This was over 10 years ago.
It's not an uncommon thing.
Yeah.
That my girlfriend was talking about how there was a fucking like Google Doc in her high school. Like fucking insane. Yeah. Okay. Anybody? All right. We'll take swings. We'll take swings.
Hi, Kida.
Nope. Not yet. Too soon, Junior.
Hello.
Hi, Dylan.
Hey,
Dylan.
I was actually on here earlier. I'm completely on y'all's side. I just want to first throw that out there for everybody in the chat. Blows me up.
I like it when they're scared.
I mean, it's the whole thing is disgusting.
You were pretty persistent in getting up here, so I wanted you.
Yeah, the main thing I just wanted to say, the guy that was up here, I don't even remember his name. He was saying like, "Oh, well, if somebody touches my daughter," do y'all remember what I'm talking about? Okay. All I have to say about that is, at the root of it, I understand where he's coming from. I think any decent man can understand where he's coming from, but to any man that is in this live right now that also feels that way currently, there used to be a saying that everybody said, fight fire with fire. The best way to put out fire is water. We have to have these conversations. We have to be able to understand that violence does not require more violence to fix the problem. That's really my main thing.
I obviously agree with you in principle. I think that I've been falling short of this platitude.
It's hard. I get it.
The last 6 years of my life. So but like this is one where like I can't. I try as I might to stifle my sort of machismo in this. It is really difficult because, and I understand even as I was saying this to this guy, but like the like this exact situation has been reported so many times about like I couldn't tell my dad that my boyfriend assaulted me because I was afraid that he would go kill him, and then my like boyfriend would be dead, and then also my dad would be in jail. And like I never said anything, and I've heard that so many fucking times. So like that the instant, but like that comes on the heels of me telling the guy before him that I would kick him in the throat. So it's a little hollow coming from me, but I like it. Yeah, I agree with you in principle. I also think that there should be some sort of, I do think that there should, I don't know. It shouldn't be just fear that stops a man from assaulting a woman.
Right. Also. And I'm not saying that violence is never ever the answer. That I'm not saying that at all either. But I am saying that in certain scenarios, like, you know, whenever the guy said, "Oh, well, my daughter should just call me and I'll take care of it."
I'll take care of it.
That's the issue. That's the hurdle.
Yeah, correct.
And I think that you did it beautifully the way that you mishandled.
I
didn't think mishandle.
I know.
And if I may, I think also I think I understand the instinct, and I mind it less when someone like Sam is like, "Hey boys, hey fellas, if I catch wind of this, I'm gonna, you know, whatever," versus what you should say. And this is why I was begging men, call up a friend tomorrow and have just a normal conversation about this. But because that has to be the focus. But when you're talking to a woman about this, when you're having this conversation as a man especially, but also women, instead of saying, "Hey, if this happens to you, tell me and I will handle it. I will go and end this person," say, "Hey, if this ever happens to you, I hope you know you can say this to me and we will handle it however you want."
Yeah.
Yes. I am a safe space for you to tell me. You can tell me anything and we will do whatever you want about it.
Exactly.
Period.
That's really all I wanted to say. I will give up my space for somebody else.
Appreciate it, Dylan. Thank you for being so persistent.
I'm so sorry for blowing up the chat.
Not at all. Look, I do this all the time. When I'm trying to get in, I'm just like, "Bitch, let me in." I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Ladies, just jump in.
I wasn't going to try to get on a live tonight because I have no voice from coughing for days. I always want to get in. Can you hear me okay? Because I have a headset in.
Yeah.
Am I? Okay.
Yep, you're great.
I always want to get in when the subject comes up because I was raised fundamentalist Christian, which is like the Duggars. So all the stuff with the Duggars coming up has been super fun for me. And if you asked my parents, my dad, my brothers, what their response would be if something happened to me or my sister, they would say, "Absolutely, you could tell us anything." And it would be the same thing as that guy. My fear would be, you're going to ruin our lives by going and doing something stupid.
Right.
The problem is, the thing that happened was a family member. And I couldn't say anything because they wouldn't believe me if I had said it. So, there you go.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yes.
And it's really interesting because I'm not going to get into it, but this weekend everything has come. It feels like somebody turned on the stadium lights in my life, and everything is cocoa bananas in my life right now.
Yeah.
And this subject has come up, and then this live started talking about it. My hands are shaking right now because I can't. It's just. But it's good because I'm in a really good mental space with it right now because I've been in therapy and I've got the right people around me. the nerds have been helping me through it. Specifically Sherry and Joanna and Rackart and you, actually, your lives have been helping me. And the video that you just got called out on, I just went over to that. I tracked that see you next Thursday down and left a comment on her video because F that bitch. Anyway, I'm in a mood. So I'm real fired up about this, and this makes me real mad, and I just really want to hit people and kick them in the throat, and just makes me real mad. That's all.
I hear you.
And I wanted to say to all the women, I didn't think it was, I had no bad, I understood the intent, but I think we need to be a little more delicate about asking people to out themselves with numbers and, having people raise their hand or say their numbers or anything.
Fuck.
Oh, God, that's my fault. I'm sorry.
It's not your. Don't apologize. It's the.
Love you, mean it. Bye.
Bye. Well, oh no.
Uh-oh. What happened?
We got a bunch of violations.
That might have been.
Gee whiz. No, not you. Did you get one? No. All right. Well, I think I want to let these two ladies go, and then I need to begin to pack for my flight at 10 tomorrow.
Where are you going?
Washington, D.C.
What for?
I'm on a panel.
Thanks for. I didn't get invited. That's.
Ask me when I got invited.
When you get invited?
Thursday.
Oh.
So what that says to me is, oh fuck, this guy dropped out. Yeah, exactly. Hey, who always says yes? Good. Okay, great. Yeah.
Well, what's the panel?
Ask me if they're gonna pay me.
No, I know.
No, Brenna.
I know they're
Don't be ridiculous. All right. Anyway.
Wait, what's the panel?
That's such a great question. It's basically, I think my role is talking about being a middleman when it comes to grassroots organizing and like real world implementation.
Okay.
Meaning, vaguely what we did in Minnesota, and like they're like the preamble to this was like, what sort of on the ground organizers were you in touch with before you went there? And I said, look, because they were like, because it went off with, such like beauty, and like it was so effective. Who were you talking to before you go? Like who got in touch with you beforehand? And I was like, I told everyone I was going the day of, and I read one DM, and we showed up at a guy's house like that. And like that's part of it. That's part of the story, and like it's still effective. And anyway, not to get off track, but I am on a flight tomorrow, and I have not even begun to pack, so I do have to go.
Nice.
Bailey or Yo Kento.
I feel like the imposter of the group because you said women, and I'm the only not woman beside you.
Sorry.
On this. No, it's okay. I'm gender fluid. I go by all the pronouns. So I'll speak up. That way you let the ladies have the last word on this subject. But as a survivor of SA myself and all the issues going around with the subject that has been brought up, this is kind of touched really close to home for me, as a lot of my abusers were men. As a man myself, that's incredibly emasculating. And it's something that ends up being brought up in my friend group a lot every time subjects like this come up, or every time I have experiences myself that I feel uncomfortable with, it comes up in my friend groups. Because I feel like it is something that has to be talked about. And from a man to other men who may not know how to begin those conversations or don't feel comfortable with those conversations, I just have to say, you have to have that courage to set up those conversations and to address those issues, because if you don't, all you are doing is creating a breeding ground for the same kind of hurt that has come to men like myself or a lot of women who end up experiencing stuff like this. And you'll have to excuse me, I'm all sorts of emotional right now. And you have to take the courage to take that step. It's uncomfortable 100% of the time. And you don't even have to do it from like a place of healed. If you have good friends, good people around you that actually give a shit about you and care about the people you surround yourself with, those people will talk to you about it. And trust me, you don't just pop off with the conversation in the beginning. No, you should take some time to get to know the people around you. But don't surround yourself with people who do shit like this. And if you do already have people around you that do that kind of stuff, and they are not willing to change or not willing to address the subjects or not willing to grow past these problems that are existent in society right now, then they are not worthy of being around, and you need to hold them to that account. Because that needs to be addressed. It can't just be women pointing this issue out. Can't just be women speaking out about the major issues that are going on in male society. And it may not be, the vast majority, meaning 75% or more of men who are doing this, but even one man is too many.
Right. Agreed.
And so even one man perpetuating such a hateful act is dangerous and harmful to everyone involved. That's why I do it for my group, and that's why I try to do it for more people outside of my group. And I will specifically point out bad people and inform people that do ask me about safe people to go to. I'm always a safe person, but also my friend group, which is relatively small in the grand scheme of things, we are safe people, and we're constantly trying to branch out and create networks of good people who will hold other men to account. I can't tell you the number of women who have come to my group of guys who are loud, boisterous nerds who look like they wouldn't harm a fly, simply because we're safe. And we will hold those men, regardless of who it is, regardless of what it takes to keep those women safe. We'll hold those men to account, regardless of what it takes, whether it be calling the police to make sure they're thrown out of establishments, or, keeping those women in circles of men who are safe people to be around, so that they have the opportunity to enjoy themselves in a safe environment. It's important that we men hold those men to account and create safe spaces. So I appreciate coming up on here. I wanted to address this because it's something that's gotten me all sorts out of whack, and I've done a lot of growth to not just protect myself, but other people. So I appreciate you, TC and Brenna, and the rest of the ladies who are coming up and sharing. I just, as a man who's been through the same kind of shit with the more of a filter, because I'm a guy, I'm a straight white passing guy, even though I'm, neither straight nor,
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that I, as a guy, wanted to come up and address. So I appreciate you. I'll drop out, but
I appreciate
thank you for having me up.
Thanks for coming up and sharing. And it's important. I appreciate you.
Can I also just say quickly, sorry, I know I've been speaking so much, but when talking about men talking to each other's friends, years ago, I dated a guy just also in response to A25, and I'm sure anyone else in the chat who was like, you think a man can just call up a friend? You think I'm just going to call and be like, hey, did you know rape is bad? Yeah, well, I gave you a way in, but whatever. I dated a guy years ago who had basically a group, like a men's, not support group. I forget what they called it. I sort of teased him and called it his men's rights group. That's not what it was. It was men like meeting up like once a week and talking about shit like this, right? Shit that shitty men do, and like talking to each other about like how to be better. Like, you know what I mean? So it was the opposite of like a men's rights group. And I think it's possible. Like, you just have to kind of like, it was a men's group. Yeah. It's possible. And men are out here doing it, but you kind of have to like decide to do it. Anyway. Yeah.
True. Okay. Bailey.
People fall asleep or put their phones down, I think.
Bailey, are you asleep? We'll come back. ADHD teacher or 18. Welcome back.
Thanks. Hey, everybody. So a couple of things I was going to share. When I was in college, it's my freshman year, I live in Washington, went to Arizona State. I had a friend call me back up here in Washington and shared with me that she had been assaulted by her boyfriend. And I said, I'm flying home, because she didn't want to tell her parents. And I said, I'm flying home. And I got on a plane. I'd only been there 3 weeks. I freaked my mom out. She told her parents her dad was a captain of the police force. And their response was, well, what did you do to make him do that?
Yeah.
So there you go. That's why we don't tell. But I was there for her and I believed her. The second thing I want to say is one of the best ways we can stop this from happening is that every single person here who has contact with a child, teach them about consent and about their body, and that their body is theirs and that no one is to touch theirs and they're to touch nobody else's without their consent from the time they can speak. Because that's how we battle this moving forward, is we make sure that our children understand their autonomy and understand that they can say no and that it's their body and that they are not to touch anybody else. We have to do that or the pattern will continue.
Mm-hmm.
Huge.
That's all.
And raise them to be comfortable with rejection.
Yes.
That's
being uncomfortable is okay.
Yeah. Raise them to be comfortable with rejection, with hearing the word no, with someone saying, I don't want this.
And please do not force your children to hug their grandparents or aunts and uncles or friends. Please don't, because you don't know what could be happening. And so just say, okay, give a hug. Like my son will say, do you want to give him a hug? Sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no. He can do a wave or a fist bump or a high five. And that's still showing respect for his grandparents. But we let him choose when he is intimate, not in a sexual way, but intimate with other people because it's his body. And so, and he knows he's not to do anything. We talk to him about it. He's 7. We talk about it all the time. It's a normal, common conversation in our household about autonomy and consent. So that's how we do it, guys.
Appreciate you. Great points. Thank you. Good to see you. Hit me.
Both of you are so articulate and passionate, and my stomach is churning because this is such a provocative subject. And there was a lot I wanted to say. Had I gotten up earlier, I would have addressed a couple of the guests. So let me just say this. I don't even know if I'm making sense at this point. The one who, said he would want his daughter to call him. His daughter would never call him. He's an asshole. The first clue is if he can't listen, he's not lecturing me about any kind of abuse or anything else. Save yourself the aggravation, Brenna. Cut him right off. Mm-hmm. The second clown who wanted to talk about Miss Andre, I would bet you dollars to donuts he does not know the definition of the word. He learned a new word.
He wanted to come up and use it. That was the extent of his depth in this conversation. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be snarky, but I see what I see.
We saw that too.
This is a very difficult, conversation, not because only that it's personal for everyone, but because it's really nuanced. I hear people say things about, I'll give you just an example and then I'll shut up. Like I didn't tell, I couldn't tell for whatever reasons. I too am a victim. I was very young. I was 9 years old and I didn't tell because somehow at 9 years old, I knew that I could not tell my mother. It would destroy her. My father was dying. He was desperately ill for an entire year. He was in the hospital. And I knew my mother couldn't, I don't know how I knew, and I don't know how I was an adult at the age of 9, but I didn't tell because I knew my mother couldn't have survived losing her husband and this craziness. That's not something that people even consider. And I think the thing, I don't even feel like I'm being clear here, but I think the thing I want to stress the most is that sexual assault is not just something that you recover from in time, with support, with therapy. Sexual assault changes who you are as a person and who you were intended to be. And that is something that you struggle with for the rest of your life, even if you've made peace and gotten beyond the assault. And that's not something that many people know how to articulate because that is not something that people talk about in public. And I just wanted to offer that for what it's worth.
Yeah. It's a really powerful concept. It's also something, I think that what I was hitting on earlier with the idea that like not fully grasping what the low barrier of entry for what assault is defined as, being sort of questioned by somebody who has not experienced it actually. And I think that like hearing how powerful and like destructive this is to like your core and like experience as a human being, I think those two things are related. And I think that it's hard for anyone to, I mean, there's empathy can go so far, but there is fundamentally something that you're not going to be able to understand unless, God forbid, you experience it. And I think that there are so many people that have experienced this that immediately echoed what you were saying is true, which is horrifying. And like, yeah, I don't, yeah.
There are people who are really sympathetic and well-meaning, but being a survivor of an assault, I don't know how to articulate this. I'm also a cancer survivor. And I remember when I was diagnosed with cancer and suddenly your whole, gestalt changes because now you're one of them.
Sure.
And even if it's your mom or your best friend, you have crossed into a realm they don't know. And it's an instantaneous thing. You hear the words, you have cancer, and suddenly you're in a whole new camp.
Yeah.
No one can really understand unless they've been through it. And I think people mean well, but I think you have to be really selective about who you hear because it's damaging to hear what people are well-intentioned with but have no idea what they're talking about.
Also true. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I wanted to weigh in because I'm so aggravated about those two clowns.
I think that I'm very thankful that you are becoming a fixture in here. I would just like to say that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I'm always here. And where were you all weekend?
Excuse me. I too am a human being.
I understand that. But you did say before you left, I'll see you tomorrow. So
I will say, this will be did I say that? There's a plug. I'll plug. We do have a Discord, and in that Discord, I do my level best to let people know that I'm not going to be on that night. But I did say Thursday that we were going to miss Friday and Saturday. But
okay, I missed it.
And again, like, you happen to miss when I said it. So the Discord serves as a kind of like.
I heard someone else mention this last week. For the love of God, I can't get into the Discord.
I'll tell you what, this is one of the things that I have on my written down that like we need to have a meeting with our little mods, and we need to make it. There used to be a thing where if you subscribed here, you would get an automatic sort of update, and we either have to figure out what that is, and then and if that's not a thing anymore, we just have a whole separate thing where you can just come and join the Discord by itself. Okay. And we should, we're gonna fix that, I promise.
And duly noted, Sam, I posted a pic.
I'm so proud of you. I know you
too.
Just for other people and for you, if you're trying to open the link through TikTok, like if you go to his link tree in his bio on TikTok and then open the link from there, you have to open it in a browser. You have to yeah, and then yeah. If you're doing it all through the TikTok app, technically it doesn't work.
Yeah. And there's more to come on that, but I think to that end, Friday we went out to dinner for my friend Alexis's birthday, and then Saturday we went to a club.
I'm glad because I got to sleep at a decent hour. I'm on the East Coast, so this is killing me.
And yeah, I can listen. Trust. I yearn for the days where we would be, going to bed, and everybody's just going to bed at midnight, and no longer. Now we're all up till 3. So,
thanks for having me up.
Thanks for hanging out.
No, and let me say, if there's ever any topic in particular that you want me to weigh in, I'm here all the time, but just ask. I'm happy to.
Deal.
Thanks. Have a good night. Good night, Brenna.
Good night.
I was up till 4 this morning. No, yesterday morning. 4. I'm 41.
Yes, you are. Yeah, I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know what I was, but we did have a great time.
You're way more of a partying child than I am. So.
But this is new.
Is it?
100%. I was a fucking narc most of my life. And now it's more of a narcotics. That's really.
You're like, damn, these are really fun.
Damn, who's been holding out this whole time? You can do this. Yeah, no, it's. I'm just really. I'm sure it's a phase. I hope it's yeah. At some point, you're just gonna. You're gonna look around and be like, I'm too old to be here. But
the fact that hasn't happened yet bodes.
I will say that no, but here's the thing. Okay, so. This is a kind of like a touchy subject for me, because the place that we go, we only go to one place. Okay. And we go to, it's a gay club, and it's an enormous gay club in Denver. Where do I live? In Denver. And we go probably once or twice a month if we're not going to shows. Like, we just go to this place. And I have feelings about being in other people's spaces that are reserved for to be a safe space, and I'm very conscious of trying not to occupy the wrong space, putting out the wrong vibe, but trying to describe what it's like in queer spaces. It's just so much better than any other experience that you could have anywhere. I hate going to the club. And that's because there are straights. Mm-hmm. And I cannot describe, I was sitting, somebody was was like on the floor at some point. She was having a moment. She was having a little teary moment. And I was sitting with her. And then somebody came over. You look so beautiful. Oh my God. This is like, that doesn't, I know that happens other places, but like not the consistency. Everywhere you go, people are just complimenting you. And you're just like, not me either. Just like my beautiful girlfriend who is beautiful. They're just like, oh my God. Oh, how, like, it's a different experience, and it's very intoxicating, and also, you know, like, I'm just saying, again, it's, you know, as a straight going in there, I try to like be a little bit of a wallflower and not get in anybody's way, but it's, you know, it's such a positive environment that like, I'm not interested in clubbing. I'm interested in that clubbing.
Right. That's totally true. That's cool. I want to go.
Yeah. And there's go-go dancers. So.
Love it. Will you take me when I one day hang out with you guys in Denver?
Say less. We'll just. So the other fucking crazy thing is yesterday, I was there. It's getting on. It's 1:00. First of all, one of the dancers there came over the last time we were there, and she was like, "Oh my god, good trouble. Oh my god," half naked. Oh my god. I'm like, "Hello, it's fine." And we like got drinks and we like exchanged Instagrams or whatever. And I texted her. I was like, "Hey, you know, it's my friend's birthday. Like, we're coming. Are you working?" Just like as a hello. And she's like, "Let me get you on the list." And we got on the list, and then we got in, and like the person like somehow made the other cashier had a sewing kit and made party opossum sash for my friend Alexis, because she was wearing an opossum skirt. The two opossums smoking. This is a long story.
That's
but
cool.
In 20 minutes, I'll show you a picture. Made a sash that said "Party Opossum." Okay, and so we're just, and then he brought it. He's wearing a fucking rhinestone cowboy hat, by the way. Came out, gave her this. Like, you know, you're having your birthday, then you have this random sash here now that says "Party Opossum," which is the best thing that's ever happened. And so we're talking, and then like, I'm getting a drink, and some woman in a Quebec Nordiques jacket. Yes, thank you. That's exactly what it is.
So good.
Some woman in a Quebec Nordiques jersey comes over and was like, I was getting a drink. I was just getting water for the group. And she was like, are you all the water free? You know, I love your work. And I was like, that's so nice of you. You don't have to do that. And she just says it to the bartender. And he was like, yeah. And then nobody exchanged money. And I was like, what? And she goes, my partner's the owner. And I said, okay. And then later I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And then I met, and he was like, I'm a big fan of your work. So all that to say is like, it's like Cheers, but the best thing ever, I guess, is more, right. It's Cheers, but a gay nightclub. Write that show. Right? Somebody get screenwriting on this show.
I feel like that's an Apple TV thing, man. I feel like that's an Apple TV show.
Yeah, but I guess my point is, it's like, it's
Queers.
I can't. It's called Queers, where everybody knows your name.
Everybody knows you're gay.
Everybody knows you're gay. Do-do-do-do-do. Hang on. This has legs, dude. This has legs. We should write this. Da-da-da-da. Hang on. Wait a second. Did we just... Don't somebody copyright this. Don't. I demand credit, Megan. You'll get credit. You'll get a producer credit.
Megan, yeah, this is Megan.
Do. Everybody knows you're gay.
You're gay.
God damn, it works. We'll have to pay royalties. It's fine. Okay. Oh, what a note that we got. All right. Somebody said Lysandra's already bought the website. Oh, God.
Ted Danson
needed,
is still the bartender. Yeah.
needed that. Oh my god! Oh, I can't wait to cast this. Holy shit!
my god.
All right, Brenna, love you, mean it.
Love you, Mina.
See you soon. Bye.
Might have fun in DC.
Thanks. I'll text. We'll text. Sometimes you go where the people go. Everybody knows you're gay. Come on, dude. Oh God, I'm crying. Anyway, I'm sorry that I wasn't live last night. We were having a blast. Hang on. Also, the criteria for this, for her thing, she wore, as I mentioned, an opossum skirt, and the opossums were smoking. She's just said, wear weird shit, and I said, bet. So I blew the sleeves off of my Punch Nazis hoodie, and also note the crop. Brother came with the heat too. I don't think that I have a photo of her outfit, unfortunately, but we did great. Nika photobombing. Anyway, this was the fit last night. Like a bunch of goddamn psychopaths. And oh, by the way, we met James Baldwin's rage today. He's much smaller in person. Look at how tiny this guy is. Met him in real life. And, yeah. Wait. Here. Saji, too. Pretty good day. Just a lovely human being, our friend Jamal. Our time was too short. It was 10,000 degrees on this fuck ass roof deck, and I was sweating out all manner of alcohol from the night before. But I persevered. It was great. We promised each other that we'd do it again too. So I have to show. I'll find the picture of the sash. Anyway, I gotta go to bed. Oh fuck! It's 1 o'clock. I gotta pack a bag. Ugh. Saji's great. Remember Saji? She reminded me how we met, and that one time that Torta was in here, and Torta being Torta, and Saji was like, let me the fuck in here, and like excoriated him, and I was like, oh yeah. And I was like, oh, that's right, she's great. Anyway, just stay up. No, it's the flight's late. The flight's at like 2. I could pack tomorrow, but I'm gonna try and like we're back together so I could work. I didn't post anything today, and there's kind of a lot happening, so I need to like make videos tomorrow and then get on a plane. Plane just eats up all the flying the other way. Just eats up the whole fucking day. It eats the whole fuck. My flight's at 4. I get in at 9, and then I have an hour Uber from Dulles to the fucking airport because the flights were $1,200. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but jet fuel is getting kind of dicey. So like it just eats the whole fucking day. So I can't work. So I'll likely go live when I get in, depending on if I can eat food. But this is your warning. It might be a little dicey for me. $1,200, basic economy. They're covering the flight, by the way. They're covering the flight, but I was like, they were like, can you do this panel? We'll pay for your travel. And I said, okay. And because because it's cool. I think that's a cool thing. And I was just like, I need you to know the flight's insane. They're like, do what you got to do. And I said, okay. First class it is, dude. It's not. I'm in 28B. Will the panel be recorded? That's a great question. Maybe. I'll ask. I will ask. Thanks, Brenna. They banned white people from first class. That's why I can sit there. Anyway, Jesus Christ. I'm going to wear a suit. Thanks, Lady Rain. I'm going to wear a suit. I'm bringing a suit. I'm bringing a suit. And I'll vibe check. We'll see if people are doing that. I sure am the only guy on this panel. So I think that's cool. I like that. There's something about if the quota is one straight white guy and I make it, feels good. You know what I mean? I feel like I feel like that makes me feel good. You know? I can brag about that. Okay. All right. Good night. I love you. Thanks for hanging out. Sorry I've been MIA. Sorry it's going to be pretty dodgy for the next couple of days too, but appreciate you. Appreciate you till no end. Thanks for also, this was like, the way that this started tonight was pretty heavy, so like I appreciate you guys. The space that we create here is important, and I try not to take that for granted, and I try to like acknowledge that when I can, because it's vital and great. So thanks. Good night.
And then I made it.
Somebody that y'all should know that's right. Don't bring